Hey y'all, welcome to Peyton Energetics. I'm Peyton, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about some of the common misunderstandings about starseeds. Now, if you have watched any of my videos, you know that we talk a lot about starseeds. So what is a starseed? Well, by our most common definition, when we use the word starseed in the spiritual community, we are generally talking about someone whose soul originates from another star system. So this means that starseeds are people who have very different energy or a very different frequency than your average human. And one way to explain this is that starseeds have a lot of galactic energy. So their energy is very different from what is native to the Earth plane, and it's just very different than the average human. So as you know, the term starseed has absolutely blown up in our spiritual culture over the past 3 or 4 years. And there seems to be some misunderstandings that people have about starseeds. So because I am a starseed coach and teacher, I thought I would share in today's video some of the common myths about starseeds, just to help you understand this topic a little better and clear up some points of confusion that you may have. Because I notice that I get certain questions over and over again. So I figured it could be helpful for us to talk about some of the things that people often misunderstand about starseeds. Now, the first thing that I have noticed that can tend to be a point of confusion for people, especially when they resonate with the term starseed and start to do their research. They start to want to know more about starseeds and their starseed origin. The first confusion point that comes up for a lot of people is they're wondering why they resonate with more than one star system. Or another way this can show up is maybe they have had intuitive readings or gotten a birth chart reading and they're getting different answers. And so as humans, our first reaction can be to think we're getting the answer wrong. So people often want to know, can they resonate with more than one star system? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. Now, there's a reason why this happens and why it's so confusing for starseeds when they start to dig into their soul lineage. And that is that multiple energies will often show up in our energy field. So when I am doing a starseed reading for a client and am reading their soul blueprint, looking at the lineage of their soul, I will often see 3 different star systems. And a lot of times, one of the energies that will come up for people is the origin of their soul. And this is what we refer to as their starseed origin. And all that means is that's the star system that their soul originated in. So a lot of times, this is one of the energies that will show up for people. But when other energies show up as well, what can be happening is that we are seeing the energies of, first off, one that can come up a lot is the energy of the star system you were in just before this incarnation. So maybe you are an Arcturian starseed, your soul originated in the Arcturian system, but another energy that is coming up from you is the Sirian system. That could be because you were in the Sirian system right before this incarnation. So what happens is this can leave a heavy energetic signature in our energy field. So that can be a reason why starseeds get more than one star system coming up for them, is you are still resonating with the star system you just left. So that is very common. And another way that another star system can show up for you is if it is where you had the best incarnations. So again, you may be an Arcturian starseed, but somehow you have a very strong Pleiadian energy in your energy field. This can be that this is where you spent your best lifetimes. So maybe you were from the Arcturian system, but all of your favorite incarnations were in the Pleiades. And what this does is it leaves a signature in your energy field. So this is something that intuitives can pick up on, and this is one of the reasons why people can get more than one answer. So I always encourage people, don't think you're getting the answer wrong if more than one star system comes up for you. Because according to the Pleiadians, and if y'all have seen my videos, you know I'm a Pleiadian channel. So the Pleiadians weigh in a lot, helping us understand more about starseeds. And one of the things that they mention is that the energies that are showing up for us are what is relevant at this point in our journey. So we may be tapping in to different parts of our soul's resume, our soul experience. And the energy that comes up for you at one point in your journey might step back and be less important 6 months from now or a year from now. So the answer can also change. So if you are someone who is either just resonating with multiple systems, or if you're getting readings and people are giving you different answers, this is what can be happening, is that you are pulling on different parts of your soul resume. So these energies from different star systems can be more present in your energy field when you need the experience that you got in those lifetimes. So that is one reason why multiple systems can show up for people. And it is also a reason why you may resonate with different star systems. And that is just because of what is relevant to you for where you are now. Now, another common misunderstanding that people have about starseeds is they think that they have all had a spiritual awakening. And the guides like to say that starseeds, just like any other human, are not guaranteed to wake up. So each individual has to come into this earth experience and find their way to their own awakening. So not every starseed is awake. Not every starseed knows that he or she is a starseed. And so one of the challenges that starseeds face is they have to wake themselves up. So being a starseed is no guarantee that you will awaken. You have the same path that everyone else does, that starseeds have to find their own way to their awakening. And many starseeds will not wake up in this lifetime, according to the Pleiadians. It is something that is very unique to the individual, whether they will heed the call when they are given opportunities to awaken. And along these lines, something else that can be a source of confusion about starseeds is thinking that all starseeds are spiritual. And this just isn't the case either. Many starseeds have no idea that they are starseeds. And as I just mentioned, they may not come to that awareness in this lifetime. Now, the goal with starseeds, of course, because we are here to support Earth during the ascension process, is our hope is that we will awaken. But the guides have said there's no guarantee of that. So along the same lines, starseeds are not necessarily spiritual. We have starseeds in all sectors of the world, every industry, every business, very awake and very asleep. So starseeds cover the same range that humans do. And so being spiritual is not necessarily a guarantee. Now, another point of confusion that comes up for many starseeds is when they are setting out to figure out their starseed lineage, find out where their soul is from, many people think that they have to have a tool to do that. That they have to have a birth chart reading, or that they have to have some external tool to give them the answer. And if you have watched any of my videos, you know I am a huge advocate of teaching people to get the answers themselves. So if you are interested in connecting with your starseed heritage or figuring out if you are a starseed, one of the best ways to do this is to sit with your intuition and ask your higher self. Because once you start to ask these questions, your higher self and your guides will absolutely answer you. Now, quick thing to know, that does not necessarily mean you're going to get a verbal answer. People get a little confused about that because that's where our human brain naturally goes. We think we're going to hear the word yes shouted in our heads, and the universe tends to be a little more subtle than that. So if you start to just sit in meditation and ask this question, am I a starseed? What is my starseed origin? The universe will start to bring the answer to you, but it tends to be a little gradual. You may just notice that as you're scrolling through social media, you are seeing postings or messages from the same star race over and over again. And you get kind of a chill whenever you read it. It resonates with you. That is how your intuition will answer these questions. It's going to do that by putting little breadcrumbs in front of you. So as you start to ask these questions yourself and get your own answers, which I am always encouraging people to at least try it out. Now, this is not for everyone. Some people do just want to have the answers given to them, and there's nothing wrong with that. That is absolutely fine if you're not a do-it-yourselfer. And there are absolutely experts who can help you do this, get the answers that you need and the details about where you are from, which lifetimes and incarnations are most relevant to where you are now. What is your starseed mission? And an intuitive is one of the best ways to get these answers. Someone like me, someone similar who focuses on galactic energies. That part is very important because working with galactic energies is a little different than working with other energies. So finding an intuitive who focuses on galactics can be one of the best ways to get detailed information. But again, I always encourage you, try to get the answer yourself. And then if you can't, or if you're totally not sure, getting extra help is always a great option as well. But you never need it. We always have all of the answers within us. And we're moving in that direction, but we're still in that phase where sometimes we need a little extra help. Now, another question that sometimes comes up for people is whether all starseeds from a particular star race, say the Pleiadians or the Sirians, will look the same in their physical incarnation. And the answer to that is absolutely not. As the Pleiadians say, most star races will incarnate into all human races. So you will have Pleiadians, Sirians, Arcturians in every human race. But there is a reason that we see certain trends in the starseed community where we have large portions of starseeds from particular star races that do share physical characteristics or a similar appearance. And according to the Pleiadians, the reason that this happens is because certain star races will be a better energetic match for certain populations on Earth. So this is the reason why we tend to see groups of a particular star race in certain Earth cultures. So we tend to see a lot of Andromedan energy in the Asian countries. We tend to see a lot of Pleiadian energy in the European countries and also in the indigenous cultures. And the reason for this, according to the guides, is that there are certain energetic compatibility issues where the frequency of certain star races fits better with certain Earth populations. So that doesn't mean that every Pleiadian starseed will look the same, but we will see very definite trends. So we will see that certain star races are more heavily represented in certain Earth countries or geographic areas. And the guides say that that is a question of energetic or frequency compatibility with the human genetics in certain parts of the globe. And finally, the last thing that is kind of a big misunderstanding about starseeds in the spiritual community is we tend to overlap the definitions of the term starseed and the term lightworker, and they mean slightly different things. So a starseed, as we have talked about many times, is someone whose soul originates from another star system. So when we talk about a starseed, we're talking about someone with a lot of galactic energy. On the other hand, when we refer to a light worker, we are generally referring to someone who has had a spiritual awakening and is someone who has dedicated their life to service, to being a source of love and light in the world. So as you can see, while these two groups often overlap, the terms are not interchangeable. One is, of course, referring to the origin of someone's soul, And the other term is referring to more of a conscious choice, the choice to be of service, to be a source of love and healing in the world. So while they often overlap, they're not the same. So these are a couple of things that can get a little jumbled in the spiritual community. So I hope this has helped you understand starseeds a little better. Let me know in the comments below, what else do you see that's kind of a source of confusion about starseeds? Drop that in the comment box below. And while you're down there, don't forget, hit the subscribe button and the like button if you haven't done that yet. I'll see you soon. Bye.